Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to go over the newest hero, Asmodeus. Basically the demonic tempress is the title, and her synergy are as follows. She's a mystifier, deviant, enchanter, and a royal, so she's basically going to be the same synergy as Emily, but as if she was a royal instead of an EVE. So she's basically a Gaia mixed with Tiamat in one way. So I'm not too excited about this because most of the newest heroes are all a mix of the previous OP heroes in the current season. So I'm going to talk about them and going one by one. The first of all is going to be the Mystifier one, Asmodeus. But I'm not too excited because I feel like this will not impact the game in a way I want it to. I feel like this will make the game basically bench Gaia from the main Mystifiers to put Asmodeus, and also perhaps bench Tiamat or Tsuki, because the damage or the attack decrease exists in here. So attack decrease is not all that amazing with Tsuki, but we have been often pairing Tsuki with Tiamat, although that's not too optimal. So we might see a shift in the Tsuki and Gaia going into the other teams, perhaps the Mystifier Monarchs with Astrid, Dullahan, Talos, or something around that, and the newest hero basically being the Gaia and Tsuki replacement, with perhaps very likely, in my opinion, returning the Emily because of the Emily's epic runes. So you don't need her legendary, it's just epic. So at the start of the battle, Emily applies 5 stacks of Koro to all enemies, which is actually 25 stacks because it's 5 per allied hero. This is why I think Emily might come back, especially because at 12 stars, the all allies heroes, unlike the Gaia's ones, which is just the demons, so we can compare these two. The old force of the newest hero is basically the same as Gaia's, which is immortality, but for deviants only in the Gaia's case, but this is all allies pretty much, unless they forgot to notice. But it does note this effect does not stack with Gaia's passive, so this likely means they will not be in the same team, but you will want with Gaia at least 3 deviants, whereas in the Asmodeus case, since she's newer, she's basically better, you will enable this even for a hero like Emily. So let's go over her skills. The ultimate is hits 3 random enemies and applies corrode. This is nice, we like the random hits more than the frontline slash backline, I personally at least do. And she also applies corrode. This is likely going to be 1 corrode because as majority of the new Mystifiers do, they only apply 1 corrode. And then active Scorching Slash hits 2 random enemies and applies corrode. Also, I believe it will be 1 corrode, but I'm not sure. We will see when the official skills get released. But if it's 5 corrode stacks, it will be too OP, especially paired with Eve, so I believe it will be only 1. And then we will have to rely on the heroes duplicating those stacks. For example, someone like the Bastet can duplicate the corrodes on the first enemy she hits with her exclusive runes. So we will probably have to rely on that, and then we also have Eve that applies corrode, and with her epic runes she also applies. After Mystifier allies deal damage, they apply additional 5 stacks of corrode, so with epic runes of Emily you don't even have to worry about the corrode application on the heroes. And Emily, or rather the Eve runes, will be available the next season, I believe, so therefore it's pretty good. The main skills, well, actually the ultimate and active skills are not actually that relevant in this case, so let's go over the most relevant cases, which is the passives. Blazing Fury at 6 to 8 stars grants corrode at 25 to 50% chance to crit. Now this is a new mechanic, completely new, nobody has this in the game yet, so we will have the corrode passive basically be able to crit. So it will probably be double damage. I'm going to assume the base crit for this is going to be 100%, which should be the double damage of the initial corrode, which is going to be absolutely broken, but this opens up a lot of questions. For example, does the crit actually also apply for the relics? When a Mystifier synergy mate attacks a target with a corrode debuff, it has 15% chance to deal 1 instance of corrode damage. Can this instance of corrode damage crit? If so, this is going to be absolutely broken, especially with Eve. And there are other options, or rather the other questions, because there's a already crit oriented team with the Ethereals. You can also ask whether the Ethereals itself will increase the corrode's crit damage and crit rate, whether the Arcane's Dorabella passive, which makes all allies active damage 100% crit, affect this one, and each time an ally lands a critical hit, Arcane Dorabella follows up whether this will get triggered on the initial corrode damage crit. So we also have the things like Amaterasu, which doubles the crit damage for the entire team, which could also impact the initial corrode. Then we have the Elisha, which also triggers freeze on crits, which means you could be basically freezing enemy team in the first round upon landing a critical hit. I guess the question is whether the corrode synergy itself is counted as a hero or not, and I do believe that corrode is actually coded as a hero, but we will have to see that when it actually happens. But maybe it's not, because if it was a hero, perhaps it would be actually applying the Mulan's burn as well, but it's pretty hard to test right now, and it's nearly impossible to do so. So we just have to wait and see how the interaction with the ethereal is going to be. Maybe if it works together, it will be absolutely broken. It will reveal some new metas, some new teams with the mist ethereals, and I do believe that's good. I do like that idea, but somehow I still believe they want to do this, and the crit will be basically just the synergy itself, and it won't be that amazing. The next part is parting keys. So at 7 to 9 stars, when corrode lands a critical hit, there is 45% to 90% chance to reduce target's attack by 100% for 2 rounds. This effect stacks up to 10 times, so a lot of attack reduction in here, which means you either don't have to run Tsuki for the attack steal, or you don't have to run the Tiamat for the attack, basically negation, so reducing the enemy attack. It's basically the same thing, but yeah, overall I think this is a good passive, and if it's not purifiable, whether with the Scepter or whether with the Vanquisher or the Celestial Synergy, it will be really nice. Something like Tiamat could work, so yeah, overall a good passive. It requires 9 stars to be more reliable, but at 7 stars it's completely usable. At 6 stars, this hero could be usable as just a filler in any synergy of Mystifiers because of the crit allowance. So if you pair them with Odin and remove their holy shields at the start of the battle, then you might be able to actually one-shot them, because Odin will basically remove all of their holy shields. And apart from that, the crit might do the job actually just killing people with the synergy itself. You can do that now with the tree, but maybe allowing the tree to be moved up overall could be beneficial. Her Oath Force. Each stack of corrode applied by allies increases all allies' damage boost by 10% to 20% and damage reduction by 0.3 to 0.9 up to 100 times. This effect does not stack with Gaia, so that's unfortunate. Yet again proves my point, which I believe is that Gaia is going to be moving out to the another team. This is the Gaia's damage boost and damage reduction, so she's going to be far stronger, far better. Basically a better Gaia this hero is, so unfortunate. This is why I'm not too excited about her. This is how she looks, so she's going to be a pretty good looking, but as I said, a better Gaia replacement is not something I wanted. Gaia has been unique for many years now, many months, and she's been proving to be top tier every single season, whether it's in the Mystifiers or outside, because of her unique speed reduction and because of her unique attack boost, as well as invincibility with the Wukong build, which was meta a few years ago. But overall, not too excited, because it's just a mix of 2 old heroes basically in one, and power creeping an old hero like Gaia. But perhaps it will allow or open up a new opportunity with the crits, with ethereals, or it will allow Gaia to shine more in the other teams. Or this could be all poorly coded and it will actually work with Gaia, so we will end up having 2 Gaias in a single team, basically 3 Gaias, because this hero is double of what Gaia is. So that could be also interesting to see, but overall pretty excited, but also not really, because I'm scared of how the coding is going to be for the crits. If it's not unique, if it's not like a hero coded, then we are going to have a blend Mystifier energy. If it's rarity coded to be stackable with ethereals, then we have some fun potential on our hands. And apart from that, her runes, each time an ally applies corrode, additional stacks of slow is applied to target, so yet again Gaia in the runes. This is really good. You want Mystifiers to be faster than the enemies for sure, so her runes are going to be really good, maybe at Epic, maybe at Reds. We will see when the official leaks or their notes show. But apart from that, thank you for watching. I do believe she's going to be like same tier as Gaia and above in the PvP, and in the PvE very likely, so that's like an easy S+ tier hero. Not game breaking, not new, but a significant improvement to already existing hero. So yeah, yet again, thank you for watching and see you guys in the next hero review, which is going to be Susano, probably the best hero in the next season.